Margaret was 68, healthy, active, and proud of it. Every morning she followed the same comforting ritual to perfectly boiled eggs, a slice of whole grain toast, and her favorite tea. She believed she was fueling her body with one of nature's best proteins, doing what every health magazine had told her was right. But one quiet morning, Margaret woke up feeling feverish and weak. Within hours, she was in the emergency room, dehydrated, trembling, and confused. The doctors traced the cause back to her breakfast. The same eggs she had trusted for years had quietly turned against her, not because eggs are dangerous, but because of small, hidden mistakes most people, especially those over 60, make without realizing it. After 60, our bodies work differently. Our stomach acid becomes weaker, our immune defense is slower, and our tolerance for bacteria or toxins drops sharply. That means even a tiny slip in how you handle or cook eggs, a runny yolk, a scratched pan, or a wrong storage habit can make all the difference between strength and sickness. And here's the shocking part. Almost 99% of seniors who eat eggs daily are unknowingly repeating one or more of these 7 mistakes. Simple things that can damage muscles, stress the heart, or trigger infections that younger adults might easily fight off. In today's episode of Senior Health Over 60, we're uncovering the truth behind your favorite breakfast food. We'll reveal the 7 dangerous egg mistakes that can quietly harm your health and show you the science-backed way to enjoy eggs safely, build muscle, and protect your body well into your 70s and beyond. So stay with me. This could change the way you eat forever. Now, let's start with the mistake that looks harmless on your plate, but could quietly send you to the hospital overnight. Mistake number 7, eating runny eggs with weak immunity. Most younger people might only experience mild food poisoning, a stomach ache, or a day of fatigue. But when you eat eggs after 60, your immune system doesn't respond the same way. Years of lower stomach acid, slower digestion, and weaker immune response mean the bacteria that once passed through harmlessly can now spread through your bloodstream, leading to dehydration, organ stress, or even sepsis. Let's take Margaret's story again. She loved dipping her toast into soft-boiled eggs every morning. It looked healthy, even elegant. But what she didn't know was that each soft yolk never reached the temperature needed to kill bacteria. That morning, her comforting breakfast became an invisible threat. Here's the science behind it. To destroy salmonella, the egg's internal temperature must reach 160 degrees Fahrenheit, 71 degrees Celsius. A runny yolk doesn't get that hot, no matter how fresh the egg looks. And here's the tricky part. You can't see or smell the danger. Salmonella doesn't spoil the egg or change its scent. So even the cleanest looking egg can be contaminated. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC), salmonella infections cause over 23,000 hospitalizations every year in the US, with adults over 60 being among the highest risk groups, and that's only from eggs. The solution: cook eggs thoroughly, whether scrambled, fried, or boiled. Make sure both the white and yolk are firm. That's the temperature zone where bacteria die, and your breakfast becomes safe again. If you still crave runny eggs, there's one exception: pasteurized eggs. These are gently heated during processing, just enough to kill bacteria, but not enough to cook the egg. They're the only safe way for seniors to enjoy that soft texture without risking their health. Let's put it this way: a runny yolk might look Instagram-worthy. But for seniors focused on building strength after 60, it's a hidden obstacle. Because muscle health isn't just about protein, it's about keeping your entire system safe enough to use that protein effectively. Your goal isn't just to eat eggs after 60, it's to eat them right, with safety, science, and longevity in mind. So next time you're at the breakfast table, take that extra minute. Let the yolk firm up, protect your health, keep your strength. And in the next part, we'll move beyond the kitchen to a mistake that happens before you even crack the shell. One that could quietly ruin the quality of your eggs, strip away nutrients, and invite bacteria without you knowing it. Stay tuned, this next one surprises almost everyone. In the last part, we learned that something as simple as a runny yolk can become a hidden threat, especially for adults over 60. Now, let's move to another mistake that most seniors never think twice about, one that happens quietly, right inside your refrigerator. Mistake number 6, storing eggs near strong-smelling foods. It sounds harmless, right? You come home from the grocery store, unpack your bags, and tuck your eggs onto the middle fridge shelf, maybe next to some onions, garlic, or leftover fish from last night's dinner. The fridge feels cold, clean, and safe. You assume nothing could go wrong there. But here's the truth. Your refrigerator might not be the fortress you think it is. Eggshells, though hard on the outside, are not solid walls. They are porous, filled with as many as 17,000 tiny pores that act like invisible doors, letting air, moisture, and even microscopic particles pass through. Those same pores that allow oxygen exchange also allow odors and gases from nearby foods to seep inside the egg. That means every time your eggs sit near strong-smelling or bacteria-prone foods, like fish, onions, garlic, or cheese, the egg can absorb both the smell and the contaminants. And while the odor might only ruin the flavor, the bigger problem is bacterial migration. Moisture or vapor-carrying bacteria from those foods can find their way through the shell and into the nutrient-rich egg interior, a perfect breeding ground for microorganisms. For younger adults, that might not be catastrophic. But when you eat eggs after 60, your immune system is slower to respond, and your stomach acid is weaker. That means even mild contamination can cause serious digestive distress, nausea, fever, dehydration, or worse. Let me share a story. Betty, 76, was meticulous about cleanliness. Her fridge looked spotless, but she kept her eggs right above chopped onions and leftover tuna salad. After a few days, she noticed the eggs had a faint smell, but she thought it was harmless. Weeks later, she was in the emergency room with severe food poisoning. Doctors later explained that volatile compounds and bacteria from the fish and onions had penetrated the eggshells. The inside of the egg, though it looked normal, was contaminated. A 2016 study published in the Journal of Food Protection found that eggs stored near raw fish absorbed chemical vapors and developed higher bacterial counts within just 72 hours. That means even if you're refrigerating properly, cross-contamination can happen quietly, right under your nose. And it doesn't stop there, there's also the issue of nutrient degradation. Eggs are rich in antioxidants, like lutein and vitamin A, which protect your eyes and brain, crucial nutrients for senior health and aging gracefully. But when eggs are exposed to sulfur compounds from onions or garlic, those antioxidants break down faster. Over time, your healthy breakfast becomes less nutritious. Think about that. The very foods you rely on for muscle strength, memory, and vision can lose their value just from sitting in the wrong spot in your fridge. Now, here's what you can do instead. 1. Always store eggs in their original carton. That paper or cardboard container isn't just for convenience, it acts as a shield. It limits exposure to moisture, light, and odors. It also helps maintain a stable temperature, which slows down bacterial growth. 2. Keep eggs in the coldest part of the fridge, not the door. The door may be handy, but every time it opens, the temperature fluctuates. Those micro-changes speed up spoilage and allow bacteria to multiply. The best place, the middle or lower back shelf where it's cold and stable. 3. Separate your food zones. Store raw meats, fish, or strong-smelling foods in sealed containers, and keep them far from your eggs. Think of your fridge as a neighborhood. You don't want the fishy neighbors living next to your delicate eggs. 4. Check humidity levels. High humidity causes condensation on the shell, making it easier for bacteria to slip inside. If your fridge tends to be moist, wipe your eggs dry before putting them back in their carton. And here's one more insight most people overlook. Smells can change perception. When eggs absorb odors, even slightly, your taste buds interpret them as off, leading many seniors to overcook or overseason their food. Over time, this can make healthy eating less enjoyable and push you towards saltier or less nutritious options, something that directly affects senior health and cardiovascular safety. It's all connected: storage habits, nutrient retention, and your long-term well-being. When you eat eggs after 60, you're not just eating for protein. You're eating to preserve independence, strong legs, sharp memory, and energy for life. Every detail matters, even where you place your eggs. And remember this: the goal isn't to make you fearful. It's to help you make informed, confident choices about your nutrition. Tiny adjustments like proper storage can add years of better living, fewer infections, and more strength to do what you love. Because senior health over 60 isn't about living longer, it's about living better with clarity and control. So before you close your fridge tonight, take a quick look. Where are your eggs sitting? If they're next to those onions or leftovers, it's time to give them a safer home. In the next part, we'll step into the kitchen again, where a simple habit meant to save time could actually destroy nutrients, ruin texture, and even cause dangerous accidents. You'll be shocked how many seniors make this mistake daily without realizing it. Stay tuned. Part 4 might save you from one of the most unexpected kitchen hazards. In the last part, we learned that even a simple mistake, storing eggs near strong-smelling foods, can silently rob them of their nutrients and even introduce harmful bacteria. But today's mistake is something most people actually do every week, especially busy seniors who prefer preparing their meals ahead of time. It feels like a smart, time-saving habit, until one small moment turns your healthy breakfast into a dangerous accident. Mistake number 5: reheating boiled eggs in the microwave. It sounds innocent. You boil a batch of eggs on Sunday, store them in the fridge, and when you want a quick snack, you just pop one into the microwave for 20 seconds. Simple, right? Unfortunately, that shortcut can explode literally. Let's talk about Harold. He's 72, active, and tries to eat eggs after 60 every day for protein and energy. One morning, he microwaved a boiled egg, took it out, and waited a few seconds. It looked fine, so he bit into it. The next moment, boom! The egg exploded in his mouth like a firecracker. Harold ended up with burns on his lips and tongue. He couldn't eat solid food for nearly 2 weeks, all because of a tiny bit of steam trapped inside. Here's the science behind it, and it's more surprising than you might think. When you heat a boiled egg in the microwave, the moisture inside turns into superheated steam. Unlike water in a cup, this steam is trapped beneath the solid structure of the egg white and yolk. There's nowhere for that pressure to escape, so what happens? The steam builds up until, at the smallest touch, a cut, or even a bite, it explodes. A 2017 study in the Journal of Food Science found that microwaved boiled eggs can reach internal pressures high enough to cause ruptures at over 133 decibels. That's about as loud as a jet engine taking off. These explosions are not just messy, they're dangerous. For seniors, whose skin is thinner and whose reflexes are slower, burns can become infections or take weeks to heal. But there's another hidden danger most people don't talk about. Even if the egg doesn't explode, microwave reheating changes the protein structure of the egg. The uneven heating creates pockets where the whites become rubbery while the yolk overheats and loses its delicate nutrients. That's a big deal, especially if you eat eggs after 60 for muscle recovery or cognitive health. Eggs are one of the best natural sources of high-quality protein for muscle repair, choline for brain health and memory, lutein and zeaxanthin for eye protection, vitamin D for bones and immunity. But when you microwave them at high heat, the proteins denature unevenly, meaning they become harder to digest. The choline in the yolk, the nutrient linked to memory and focus, begins to degrade. A 2020 study in food chemistry showed that overheating eggs at temperatures above 180 degrees Fahrenheit can reduce choline content by up to 25%. That's a significant loss, especially for seniors who rely on eggs as a convenient brain-boosting food, and digestion becomes another problem. As we age, stomach acid production naturally decreases. That means our bodies already struggle a bit to break down proteins. When those proteins are overheated or hardened, they pass through the digestive tract less efficiently, leading to bloating, indigestion, and reduced nutrient absorption. So what starts as a time saver ends up working against your health goals. But don't worry, there are safe and easy ways to warm your eggs without any risk. Here's what to do instead. 1. Warm with hot water, the safest method. Place your peeled boiled egg in a cup or bowl. Pour hot, not boiling water over it. Let it sit for 2 to 3 minutes. You'll get a perfectly warmed egg, no explosion, no nutrient loss. 2. Pan warm gently. Slice your egg in half and place it in a small nonstick or ceramic pan. Heat on the lowest setting for 30 to 60 seconds. You'll keep the flavor and the nutrients intact. 3. Eat cold or at room temperature. Hard-boiled eggs are completely safe to eat chilled. In fact, the nutrients stay more stable when cold, especially the antioxidants in the yolk. If you often cook in advance, there's one more pro tip. After boiling your eggs, store them unpeeled in the fridge. The shell helps prevent moisture loss and protects against bacterial contamination. Only peel them when you're ready to eat. Let's pause and think about why this matters so much for senior health. After 60, your body becomes more sensitive to both temperature and nutrient changes. Something as small as a digestion problem or burn can have long-term effects, infections, loss of appetite, or even nutritional deficiencies. And yet, all of this is preventable with one simple mindset. Don't rush your food, respect the process. Because every time you eat eggs after 60, you're not just feeding your body, you're strengthening your future. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency and awareness. Here's another important note many don't know. Microwaving also affects the yolk's natural fats. The yolk contains healthy fats like phospholipids and omega-3 south, which protect your brain and help balance cholesterol. But under microwave heat, these fats oxidize faster, turning beneficial compounds into harmful ones that can contribute to inflammation. That's the exact opposite of what we want when focusing on nutrition for seniors. Inflammation is the silent factor behind so many age-related issues, from joint pain and fatigue to memory decline. Protecting yourself means protecting your nutrients at the source, in how you store and cook them. Now imagine this. Harold, the man from earlier, changed his routine. He stopped microwaving his eggs. Instead, he began warming them in a bowl of hot water. Within weeks, he noticed he digested them better, felt more energetic, and didn't suffer from bloating anymore. He told me something simple but powerful. It's not the egg that hurt me, it was how I treated it. And that's the message I want you to take with you today. The foods we love, eggs, vegetables, fish, are only as good as the way we handle them. And when you eat eggs after 60, you deserve to get all the nourishment and none of the risks. So next time you open the microwave, stop for a second. Ask yourself, is this really the best way for my body? Because health after 60 isn't about doing more, it's about doing small things smarter. And in the next part, we'll uncover another everyday mistake that sounds like good hygiene, but actually makes your eggs 10 times more likely to grow dangerous bacteria inside your fridge. You'll be shocked at how many people, even health-conscious seniors, are still making it. Stay tuned. Part 5 might just change the way you wash and store your eggs forever. In the last part, we talked about the dangers of reheating boiled eggs in the microwave. Now, let's look at a mistake that almost everyone over 60 still makes because it feels like the right thing to do. Mistake number for washing eggs before storing. It sounds harmless, even smart. You bring your eggs home, rinse them under warm water, and feel like you're keeping your kitchen safe. But here's the hidden truth. Washing eggs before storage can make them more dangerous. Take Ellen, 74, for example. Every Sunday, she'd wash her eggs before putting them in the fridge. It made her feel clean and organized. But weeks later, both she and her husband ended up in the OR with food poisoning. Tests traced it back to the very eggs she had cleaned. Here's why. Every egg is covered with a natural shield called the bloom, or cuticle. It's a microscopic coating that seals the shell's surface and keeps bacteria out. When you wash an egg, especially under warm or running water, you remove that protective layer. Once it's gone, bacteria like Salmonella can slip through the shell's 17,000 pores and grow quietly inside the egg while it sits in your fridge. You can't see it, you can't smell it. But the next morning, when you cook breakfast, the damage is already done. A 2011 poultry science study found that washed eggs were 10 times more likely to carry bacterial contamination than unwashed ones. And for anyone who wants to eat eggs after 60, that's a huge risk. Seniors naturally have lower stomach acid and slower immune response, meaning infections that younger people might fight off easily can turn severe or even life-threatening. So here's what to do instead, the safe way for senior health. Keep eggs unwashed and stored in their original carton to protect against moisture and odors. Store them in the coldest part of your fridge, not the door where temperatures change. If an egg looks dirty, wipe it gently right before cooking, not before storage. These small steps keep the natural barrier intact and protect your health, because the safest egg isn't the one that looks clean, it's the one that stays protected. When you eat eggs after 60, you're doing it for strength, muscle, and longevity. Don't let a small cleaning habit rob you of those benefits. And in the next part, we'll uncover a danger that isn't on your plate. It's in your cookware, something millions of seniors use every day without realizing it could be poisoning their breakfast. And now, we've reached the big one. The mistake that almost every kitchen over 60 hides in plain sight, your non-stick frying pan. It's quick, it's easy, it's what you've used for years. But here's the truth no one wants to talk about. If your non-stick pan is scratched or peeling, it's not just old, it's toxic. When the surface breaks down, microscopic flakes of Teflon and aluminum can mix into your food at high heat. Over time, these particles may trigger inflammation, joint pain, and even disrupt muscle recovery, the very thing we're trying to protect as we eat eggs after 60. A 2020 Harvard study found that seniors with high levels of PFAS, the forever chemicals found in damaged non-stick coatings, had weaker grip strength and slower muscle rebuilding after injury. That's the silent link between your frying pan and your fatigue. So, what's the fix? Replace old or scratched pans every 2 to 3 years. Switch to ceramic, stainless steel, or cast iron, safer choices for your long-term senior health. And never heat an empty pan, that's when toxins release fastest. If you've been wondering why your energy feels lower, your joints ache more, or your strength isn't bouncing back like it used to, maybe it's not your age, maybe it's your cookware. You deserve better, clean fuel, clean pans, and clean strength. Because life after 60 isn't about slowing down, it's about powering up. If this helped you, hit like, share it with a friend who loves their morning eggs, and comment strong after 60 below to show the world you're still building strength, one healthy choice at a time. And stay tuned, in our next video, We'll reveal 5 forgotten morning habits that drain your muscles before breakfast even begins.